Welcome to the 2-6 Show podcast. Things are a little different, as you can see. Want to thank you, Matt, for being with us tonight. And we have a special guest, Matt Land. Like I said, we're at Divine Business Group. I'd like to thank Stevie Divine for letting us set up. This is podcast number 27, Matt.
Yeah, 27. It's been a good ride, and good to be at a new home and new digs, and excited about our guest, Matt Land, who actually was a former player of mine way back in the day in baseball, which is kind of scary because I know he didn't learn anything in baseball from me. So.
Well, Matt, like I said, we're glad you're here. What me and Matt usually do at the beginning is go over current events. So, like I said, so everybody knows our contract was up September 1st with Spies, and we're in the process of looking for new sponsors as we speak. And I've had some good connections with possibly 3 to 4. But if you're interested in sponsoring, please get in touch with me or through Twitter, through the 260 Twitter handle. I'm actually somewhat relieved it's over, Matt.
Well, it's again, it's a new beginning now.
Yeah.
It's a new beginning and a chance to take the show to another level, and we're excited about it. And I think the sponsorships will come, and we're excited about that. Excited to have new partners, and the show is going to go on, and that's the big thing.
Yeah, but I mean, it's exactly. Depending on your circumstances, Matt, in the next week with your daughter having her baby, your first grandchild, if I might have to reschedule next week's guest, which will be Journey Weaver. She does all the photography, sports photography throughout this town. She does a great job.
Well, I can't make the call on that, so I do know that I need to have my ass there at the hospital to take care of that. So I'd like to be, see at least that little baby say, "Hey, there's Grandpa," first. So
Journey will understand if that happens.
Yeah, true.
Matt, when we were setting up this week's show, you wanted to talk about 9/11.
Yeah, I think the one thing we got to remember is, we have to remember it, and I think too many people, forget. It's almost forgotten, thing that happened in this world, in 2001, and the day, I've heard a lot of people describe it as slow motion, and I really felt like that's how it was. The
day just stalled.
Yeah, I was at work, and I'm on a normal day. We're unloading trucks, and the next thing you know, Peter Jennings comes on the radio, and you never know, or you don't think that's a good thing if Peter Jennings is coming on the radio at 8:45 in the morning, 8:50. So. Kind of gave the information out on the radio. We at our work, we turned the TV on and saw, what was happening. And it was just like slow motion. Everything was just kind of stopped. And I remember after work, we had practice with Indiana Tech. We were practicing over at Concordia High School for baseball. And we went to the field, and again, there was, no planes in the air. It was just kind of silent. And we're out there at practice, and there was no energy whatsoever. And, Lance Hirschberger, the head coach at Indiana Tech, and he looked at me and I looked at him, and we're kind of like, why are we doing this today? We need to just kind of sit down and discuss the circumstances of what's going on right now in this world. So we called the team up to the mound, and we had a great talk because it was we had kids from New York, and
Oh, boy.
and with no cell service, they didn't know if
Yeah.
family was fine or not, and kids from Brooklyn, from the Bronx. I mean, they're wondering, are their families okay? It was just kind of a really scary situation, and so we sat there and we talked, and as a team, we became a stronger team because of it that day. We just kind of discussed, well, we want to make sure the kids from New York they were able to have that conversation with their loved ones at some point, which they were, and everything was fine, and that was a good thing. But, yeah, it just was one of those situations,
You're in
you
Fort
just never
Wayne,
forget.
Indiana,
Yeah.
and you're from the Bronx. I mean, I
Yeah,
bet those
yeah,
kids'
it-
minds were going nuts.
Yeah, and just I mean, you think about it that day. I mean, everybody thought they were going to run out of there's going to be no gas. They didn't know what was going to happen in this world. The gas stations were
Yeah.
full, and I know my wife was supposed to go to a Jimmy Buffett concert that night. R.I.P. there, Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy just passed.
Yeah, and I just remember going home, and I had a 2-year-old and a 6-month-year-old, and I just remember just wanting to be with them and make sure that they were okay, and just remember watching the TV for hours, just hours.
Where were you at, Matt?
I was at Black Hawk Middle School. Same thing. I was the adapted PE teacher for the Fort Wayne Community Schools, and was at Black Hawk Middle School. Heard something going on, and I went in the teachers' lounge and
There it is.
watched it, and it was just unbelievable. We had I was at Northrop coaching football with Matt Stinson and the guys.
Okay.
We had to change our coming out music. It's a little inappropriate.
Really?
When the bodies hit the
Yeah,
floor. Remember
yeah,
that?
yes.
Wow.
So we changed our
Yeah,
music. We had
yeah.
a lot of different things going on, but I remember my wife was pregnant, and I was. It was just surreal.
Yeah,
Yes.
Your gut just
There's no way to describe
Yeah.
it other than
Yeah.
well, I mean, like I said,
Crazy.
The day just stalled.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I was had my landscape company at the time, and I'm driving out to the nursery, and when I get to the nursery, they're like, "Have you seen?" And then I'm looking at their TV, and I'm like, "This can't be happening."
Right.
So yes, we want to.
Well,
Never
the
forget.
big thing is, never forget. Always remember. I mean, I mean, too many people just think it's, I just kind of have forgotten it, and it's not. That's not right. That's not who we are as Americans. We're, that day we came together as Americans for the first time in a long time. I think everybody was in the same corner. So, again, it's a never forget situation.
All right, let's get to current events of high school football. Well, Snyder laid up a little bit, 41-0 on South Side. Matt, what do you see there, man? You see any hope?
for the future. Big things coming in the future for Southside.
Big things. All right.
That's good. That's good to hear. I mean, you want to have a competitive Southside team. I mean,
They got
there's
that
no
new
doubt about
dirt
it.
Field.
Yeah.
The
Conference is better when Southside's good at
Yeah,
football.
absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
I was looking at your records and what you did at Southside. That's pretty tremendous what you did.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah, I bet it was. Lures Wayne 24-21. I was a little shocked in that. I thought, Lures had their struggles, and then, they come back and beat.
Well, I think when you look at that game, it was probably, two evenly matched teams when it was all said and done. Lures has had some bad weeks. And,
yeah.
Coming out.
Starting off against East Noble.
Yeah, and again, I think that's one of the benefits of playing the new schedule that they have is that they have the opportunity to go play at East Noble and find out where they're at. And they found out they weren't, they had to go back to the drawing board. Yeah, so a good win for Lures and a tough loss for Wayne. And Wayne's building things out there too. I mean, they're doing a good job.
Northside over Cadets 70-39. Old Tay was at the QB position. I think he got he's pretty motivated now.
Well, again, a team that was struggling early, with injuries and also the schedule they played and they at some point you gotta put up or shut up, and they changed some things up and put some points up. So
When in doubt, give the ball to your best
Yeah,
player
absolutely.
as much as possible.
Yeah, you know
It's
that a
not
little
rocket
bit. Yeah,
science. You
yeah,
guys know me. I'm
exactly.
not a smart guy.
I'll get to that point when we get over the Northeast 8. Um, Carroll 40-13 over the Saints. Were you at the game?
No,
Okay. You have a nephew?
two nephews.
Two nephews
Yep.
playing for Carroll.
One's a freshman and one is a junior.
Okay. And Coach Ab's kids on the team.
Yeah.
Coach Ab's son is the tackle.
Yes.
Yeah. I went back and watched that tape, and Matt, I saw Dwenger Tippmann boys up and down the field. Now, they can't score. I think they have some problems at quarterback, but those boys were marching up and down that field. What do you see with Northside coming up against Snyder? Snyder Carroll game.
I think it's going to be the marquee game of the week.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, tomorrow night, everybody's eyes are going to be on that game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the one, right?
Oh, yeah. I think that settles it.
yeah.
Right
I mean,
there.
I think we discussed off air a little bit. With Jimmy back there at quarterback, he's still I think there's an offensive line issue
Yes.
at Carroll that needs to get cleaned up, and
I
you
didn't
can't
see
have
too much.
you
I
can't
think-
you can't have your running or your quarterback running around back there all day long for his life, and I mean. Snyder's going to come at you. You know how Snyder is. I mean, they're the team that's it seems like they have a little bit of bounce back from
From what I
last
saw
year.
in the Carroll running game, it was non-existent. If I'm not mistaken, they were under 50 yards rushing.
Yeah, well, and some of that's just the offense. I mean, they're kind of a wide open attack, but again, as Matt said, it's going to be the marquee game of the week, and it should be hopefully one of those classics that you want to see in a high school game.
Unfortunately for us Bruins, it will be a packed house at Swooler Stadium.
Yeah,
Both sides.
It's in Northrop Spooler Stadium.
yeah, Northrop Spooler Stadium.
That's
Yeah, there you go.
And speaking of which, Homestead put the whooping on Northrop again, 48-13. That I think now they're 0-15 or 0-16. Northrop.
I have no comment.
Yeah,
I have
yep,
no comment.
figured. Three Northrop alumni here, folks.
It's
It's painful.
Yeah, it is.
Switching to Northeast 8, with Norwell 42-0 over Belmont, not a shocker. Like I said last week, I feel Belmont needs to go down to ACAC. There needs to be some realignment of these conferences. And what is shocking that Belmont is so bad. They used to be pretty good.
Yeah, it's been a dry spell down there. I think we talked about that a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
That they just whether the guys they've always had a strong wrestling program.
Yes.
They've always had a strong I know their baseball
Matt,
program.
Matt was a wrestler. Wouldn't
Yeah.
you say one of the best programs
Yeah.
in the state?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah, I
Them
mean,
and Delta.
Yeah.
yeah, and I know baseball's been up and down, but it sometimes can be really really good as a program. But
Coach Bergman won a state title
yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
But I mean, something's got to change down in Decatur. Cleveland City, Huntington North, 55-27. Not a real shocker there. I
Well,
mean,
and, you talk about Belmont too, but Huntington North, man, I mean, that's a big county to not. I don't get it. I mean, the rest of their sports programs have been pretty done pretty
Solid.
well, and then you look at that football program and it struggled. It hasn't been very good for a while now, and you kind of wonder, what's going on. If
by the
kids
way,
just-
they have the nice amenities, and you'd think they'd be
Oh,
putting
yeah.
out more than what they're getting.
yeah. So I don't know if it's kids not coming out. Who knows?
East Noble at DeKalb, 38-15. At the beginning, I don't know, is that quarterback for DeKalb back healthy yet?
That I couldn't tell you.
Because at the beginning, he was chucking the ball
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
And then what I call the game of the week last week, New Haven Leo. I'm telling you guys, if you didn't see the show, I didn't see the game. In that first 4 minutes, it was a track meet one way. And I mean, for Leo to come out only down 6 at half, I'm telling Charlotte, I go, this is amazing that they're only down 6.
Mm-hmm.
Because at one point it was, I think 20 to 6. I mean, they were just big chunk. Opening kickoff bad, kicked it out of bounds. There goes Mylan Graham, and I'm telling you, that kid is really, really fast.
Right.
There are a lot of really, really fast and really, really good kids from both teams on that
Yeah.
field.
Oh, yeah.
That was
Absolutely.
good. Those are two good football
Yeah.
teams.
And that's for Leo to come all the way back, tie it. Well, should have tied it. I feel Coach Dorfler should have went for 2. I mean, they was running this diamond package up and down, up and down. New Haven couldn't stop it, and they just clawed their way back, clawed their way back. I think you should have stayed in that on goal line. Maybe brought in the Keller kid, who's a rugby player. I've seen 4 people on top of him, and he's still going down the field. Needless to say, I lost. But I will say, once again, Caden Hurst, that kid is amazing.
Yeah.
He does. I think he texted me early in the week. He's up to 1,089 all-purpose yards right now in 4 games.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the big thing now is the bounce back. You're playing East Noble this week at East Noble. I mean, it doesn't get any easier in the NE8 until, with those guys.
And I will say the Hafner kid, like Matt Land was saying, both sides, there was 3 to 4 players each side of that ball that are really, really good. But the Hafner kid, to stay on Milan, he got burned there at the end. But for the most part, I mean, even some of the city was saying, that Milan ain't getting his touches.
Right.
And, the Hafner kid is the fastest on league. He's faster than Caden on that team. So, looking ahead, I mean, for this week, SAC, Carroll Snyder, obviously, like we say, that's game of the week. Cadets, Lures, I'd say, Matt.
Yeah, Lures at home. They'll have the grass about yay high, and they'll have it all wet. Yeah, watered
They
down.
used to do that stuff to me all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
No, we didn't. I know they did. I would drive by and they'd have the sprinklers
There's
on.
evidence.
Yeah.
There's evidence.
Brownie always says that, man.
Yeah.
He goes, it just miraculously rained.
Yeah, exactly.
North side, obviously north side.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not even a Wayne south side. I'm going to go Wayne. Homestead, Dwenger. That's, like I said, there's quarterback issues with Dwenger. The running game's stout, but if you can't pass the ball, you can't win.
Yeah, but if they have the right game plan, they can beat Homestead. They're tougher.
Yeah.
They've got got some moxie about them, and they'll come back. I mean, they'll bounce back. It's Dwenger football, and I haven't seen Homestead enough to I just feel like Dwenger's that football program. It's got a little they got it rubbed in their nose in the ground a little bit last week.
I don't know if it's Nick Pelkington. It's Rob Pelkington's kid. I think all he likes to do is hit people.
Yeah.
And hit them hard. I will say back to the Carroll, that's Braden Steely.
Oh.
Man, he lays some. I've always said he lays wood, but there was some hard shots he laid.
Good
Well,
player.
and the thing,
Good player.
and the thing we talk about is sideline to sideline. He is so fast. I mean, there was a play, and I mean, he's on the other hash, and he's already on the other. He comes over to where Carroll's sideline and laid the guy out. I mean, it was impressive. I mean, he's a good ball player. He's hard nosed. He's kind of that throwback guy, and that's what you like to see out there.
When we did that Carroll youth football, sorry about that. I had it off. When we did that Carroll youth football outing, we had his mom on, and Joe was talking to her about his 40 time.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm not mistaken, it was like 4.3. And Joe goes, that's NFL. But one thing is, he's not the tallest kid.
No, I mean, he's got time to grow. As far as physical, he's gonna go to Western, and he's gonna get bigger and stronger. And I mean,
I think he'll do fine.
I mean,
Listen, you can't teach fast.
no.
So there's a lot of fast guys, right?
Yeah.
But fast guys that have a really bad attitude, as soon as they hit you,
Yeah.
are very rare. And you can't teach fast.
Yeah,
You just can't.
agreed.
So I
Hey, we'd be remiss without mentioning. I got the hat on tonight. Tin Caps win tonight, and they go on to the next, series. in the playoffs. So, shout out to Mike Nutter and his crew over there with the Fort Wayne Tin Caps. They won the other night 5-0, and
Another 260 guest.
yeah,
Mr. Nutter.
and 5-0 win, shutout. Center fielder, I believe, hit a 3-run homer. They caught stride in the second half and never relinquished, and now got a shot at they win this one. They go to the championship round.
And they had to have this game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's been
yeah.
tight. Coming
Yeah,
down the second half.
they're down the stretch, and then you only got, and when it's a 3-game series,
It goes
buddy,
quick.
Yeah, and you're only having one home game. You better win it, and they did that. It was impressive, and they play again tonight, and hopefully they can get it done and move on to the championship round.
Nutter, one of the all-time great people and all-time great
classic.
Fort Wayne people. We're lucky to have him.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, Matt, when he was on the show, the guy who produces the show, Sonar, was talking. Jesus.
Let me teach you how to use that thing, buddy.
I didn't know how funny the guy was.
Yeah.
I mean, Sonar was saying that's the most you guys laughed in all of your episodes was when he was on. I mean, it's just after another.
So he's a fast friend guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's always
Yes.
he's fast to be your best friend.
Yeah.
He's just a great dude.
yeah,
very, very
Loves
great
Fort
guy.
Wayne.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Loves the sports of
Yeah,
Fort Wayne.
yeah.
And he's involved in everything.
absolutely. And
Yeah,
we're lucky to have
comments.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, he's a quality guy, and we enjoyed having him on the show, and we're gonna have him back at some point.
Yep.
And
Hopefully when they win.
yeah, it'd be nice. But again, great guy, and it's a big asset to our community, and what they've done down there at the Parkview Field, and definitely with the product they put out there. Not only on the field, but the special, things that they do outside that
Yeah.
make it
Keep the
make it
entertainment
makes going down there, a pleasure, every time you go down.
Yeah, end of August they had our softball team down.
Nice.
We won a national title.
Yes.
Yeah,
Division III
absolutely.
national title in softball.
Yeah.
They had-
Hold on to that, Matt.
Yes.
We gotta
My
talk.
bad. He was nice enough to have the girls there and recognize
Nice.
them. It was
That's awesome.
first class thing. It was
Yes,
cool.
absolutely.
Back to the Northeast 8, New Haven, Norwell at New Haven. I watched the Leo Norwell game. Norwell lost a lot from last year. Not a chance. New Haven. DeKalb, CC. Obviously CC, but it'll be interesting. I think this is their first, what I'm going to say, real
Got true test.
True
Yeah.
test. Leo eats Noble. That's the game of the week in the Northeast 8. And then Huntington Belmont. It's a flip of bad. Last thing I'd like to talk about, and me and Matt was talking about this week. I've been tweeting out about Andrew Salfrank, heritage kid, went to IU. It's ironic how he is following Jared Parker's path.
Yeah.
He's with the Diamondbacks. He had a great AAA season, gets a call up right, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
He's 4-0 and I'm sorry, not 4-0.
4 appearances.
He's four innings, 0 ERA. His WHIP is .33. So if you don't know what that is, that's walks plus hits divided by innings
Nobody
pitched.
knows what that is. Stop
We're
it,
not.
you baseball
Yeah.
nerd.
Yeah.
I'm
Come
a
on.
baseball guy. I don't know what the hell
We're
that
not
is.
breaking down the ERA tonight either. I can tell you that.
Well, with saying walks plus hits, no, they're not hitting him.
Yeah. I got to see him a little
And
bit.
I didn't know that they were in the chase.
Yeah.
Now they've lost 2, and the
Yeah.
Cubs came in and tied them.
Right there.
Well, it's the Reds. The Cubs are ahead of them. It's the Diamondbacks and the
I thought it was the Cubs
Diamondbacks and the Reds for that last spot in the NL wild card. But with Andrew, he left-hander. But the really cool thing watching some of his development is that body change. From Heritage to going to IU and now being a professional, and just the way he goes about things obviously has moved him up the chain pretty quick. He had a great.
Did you ever coach against him, Matt?
I did not. He was. I don't
knew
think
that
I
you
don't think
used-
we played Heritage at that point.
Because you used to play him.
We used to play him, but at that point, no, which was probably a blessing to us that we didn't get to face him. 'Cause he's pretty damn good. But I watched him at IU a little bit, and he was. Man, he's good. He's really good, and really happy of how his progress has gone to
It's
the
great
point.
for-
Now he's now you're in the heat of a playoff race, and that gives you even a bigger step.
Yeah.
I mean, because you can
He's
those
prorated.
those coaches, not the coaches, but the scouts from not only the Diamondbacks, from other teams are watching that, going, this kid can compete. And he can.
and that's
he
why
can do
happened
it.
to Parker when he went to the
Yeah,
A's.
because I mean, he was at Parker Jared was with the Diamondbacks and kind of the same thing, and things didn't work out. They traded him to the A's, and he went into Oakland, and hell, he started some big ball games and playoffs.
Now you was explaining his contract. He gets prorated money right now.
So Andrew gets prorated money right now, minimum of what,
What, 533? You
yeah,
think it
it's
is?
it's something stupid like that, but if they make the playoffs, then his playoff money is
That's
his.
real money.
Yeah, as long as he's on
just
the
like anybody
roster,
else.
if he's on the roster, he gets his share of the playoff money. So good for him.
Well, like I put out a tweet on Matt Land, another 260 kid done well. Great things. Very happy for Andrew.
Yeah. Hey, we're looking for a sponsor, Andrew. You can throw some of that
Wait till he
playoff
gets the
money.
playoff money.
Yeah, get the playoff money and shoot some our way.
I will
Yeah.
say this last thing, then we'll go to break. Matt O'Leary, who we had on the Jets
Yes.
podcast, I mean, I like that guy a lot. He texted me. I don't even know what's going on with this phone, Sherlyn. He texted me and he goes, that prediction I made about after the bye week 7? And I go, yeah. He goes, I think it's going to be real quick.
Yeah. Well, if you
After
watch
watching that game,
Yeah.
that line is.
It
Did
was-
you watch the game, Matt?
Which one?
Jets game.
Jets game.
No.
Yeah, it was pretty eye opening. The Rodgers play. I mean, it happens. It happens. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just part of football. But that offensive line wasn't very good, and it hadn't. I mean, they knew that was something they had to fix. I mean, they know that's their weak
And that's why
point
they
on that
picked Joe.
team.
I watched the first
Yeah.
4 plays.
Yeah, there you
And
go.
then you turn it
there
off.
You go. There
You
you
should have
go.
left it on. It turned into a pretty good game.
Yeah, it's again. I mean, Joe's. He's just got to keep working. And then he'll get. I mean, it's a second round draft choice. I mean, they're not.
He'll be fine.
Yes, they're not gonna. He's not gonna sit too much longer.
No,
So
after watching that game, I was telling Sherlyn, I go, it might be fast. It might be tonight. He's coming in.
yeah,
We'll see.
yeah.
Center's tough, man.
Yeah.
Center's tough.
Well, they're saying they might not put him at center. He might go to guard.
That'd probably be a good move. Let him play some,
Because,
get some minutes on guard
Yeah.
before you give all of the offense to him.
Sure.
When we had him on the show, he can play. He can play all 5 positions. So right before they had this mysterious injury with him, you can't find it at all. Anyways, that was when they had him at guard, and he started that night. In preseason, he had the most snaps of any lineman.
I did. I got to watch him a lot during preseason.
Yeah. So, plus watching the Nora Hard Knocks,
Oh yeah.
does that make you feel good for that kid or what?
Oh my God. You watch him and he makes the team, and the excitement he had, and not only that, but his buddy, who was a wide receiver, is also
Yeah.
undrafted, made it as
They
well.
both
And-
made it together.
Yeah, and he makes the big punt return for a touchdown to end the game. It was it was pretty exciting. And he's I mean, you watch him and you watch the Hard Knock series. I mean, they were high on him. They were. I think he was a little.
The head
he
coach
was-
was so happy to keep him.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
to tell him, hey,
Yeah.
you're my guy.
Yep, and it worked. I mean, it was
For
good
opening
stuff.
night.
Yeah, good stuff.
All right. Well, we're going to take a break here, and then we're coming back with the Matt Land story. Him growing up in the 260 and to where he is now as the AD of Trine University. Welcome back to the 260 podcast. We are glad to have Matt Land here, the head AD at Trine University. Matt's done a lot of coaching throughout the city leading up to that point. Matt, tell us about growing up in the Fort, what you was doing.
Grew up out by North American Van Lines, which is now Sweetwater. across the
Sweetwater.
street,
Yeah.
out in the middle of nowhere. Went to Washington Center Elementary School, played baseball at Wallen
Yep.
with the Wedges.
That's where
A
I
lot of
played.
travel ball,
Mhm.
yeah. Got to play Ben Van Ryn in the state tournament every year from 8 to 18.
Yeah, that's fun.
That was
That-
super
that-
fun.
that-
That's probably a lot of fun.
That hurt.
Probably the best athlete out of Kendallville.
Oh yeah.
And they've had some really good ones, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. But,
Brad
Yeah.
Miller.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. But Benji was something else. Had a lot of fun doing that. Got to play with some great players. And then went to Shawnee Middle School. Played Powell football. And then
Who
you
was
talk
you,
about Powell football.
who was you with?
I was the North Division
Okay.
champs. Just want to let you
There you
know
go,
that.
North
Well,
North Division
that's right.
champs. There you go.
Well, the Packers were before
We
you.
beat you.
No,
We beat you.
No.
But
Did
Played
you,
Powell
did you
football.
practice at City Utilities?
what's that?
Did you practice at City
We
Utilities?
practiced at Northwood Middle School.
Northwood?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then got cut from my 8th grade football team. Played Powell football
Yeah.
in 6th and 7th grade, and then got cut
Wow.
as an 8th grader at Shawnee.
Who was our coach?
I can't remember his name. Mr. Stevens?
Mr.
Mr. Stevens. I can't remember. How about
there,
that?
there you go.
Wow.
You haven't lost it.
I actually, you probably obviously don't like the guy too much, but I actually
Oh, I
did
don't-
like. He's
Hey.
a pretty
Best
good
thing that
coach.
ever happened to
Yeah,
me.
change it was a life changer.
Listen, that people have
I will
told me
say
my
this.
whole life I'm not good enough.
I
in one way or
will
another.
say this: Zent cut me, and as a basketball coach, he cut me my 6th grade year, but then I made it my seventh grade
Well,
year.
he told me wrestling would be a good thing for me to do. So that's what I went with.
Nice.
AC Eldridge did too.
Yeah, there. Oh,
Well, the wrestling paid off for you.
It did. When AC Eldridge, he's like, "What are you doing, Land?" I said, "Well, I'm going to try for the basketball team because I have no need for a 6-foot tall white defensive specialist that can't shoot. Let me introduce you to Coach DePremio."
wow.
That's exactly how
Nice,
it went down.
nice. Yeah.
But hell, at that time we had the 2 7-footers,
Oh, yeah.
Tony Jones,
Yeah,
Oh wait, it was J.C. Harris.
J.C.
Yeah.
Harris,
Lovelace.
yeah.
yeah.
And gosh, what was the other guy? He went to Toledo. But anyway, he was right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good
Well,
move, thanks, Coach.
yeah.
Had you ever wrestled before?
No.
So when you got north, that was the beginning.
Yep.
Well, you had one of the best coaches ever to teach you,
He's something else.
yeah, Mr.
Yeah,
Sam
Big Sam.
DePremio.
Yep. Played football, baseball, and wrestled for Coach DePremio.
And then off to Ball State.
Yep. Went to Ball State. And that's when I was told again I'm not good enough, which they were 100% right. They went with Mike New instead of me.
Oh well. Yeah,
Wow.
that worked out all right. for him.
Wow.
Yep. Yep.
The head coach now.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then just like everybody else, everybody at some point when you're an athlete, somebody tells you you're not
You're
good
done.
enough anymore.
You're done.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then you decide, what do you want to do? Well, I wanted to coach. I knew I wanted to coach. I didn't want to be in an office and have a cubicle. I had to, so I wanted to, went into the football, at Ball State, the football academic advisor. So what do you want to do? I played football. She goes, "Son, this is an institute of higher learning. You have to have a major. Physical education sounds like a
Attaboy.
good one for
Yep.
you." It's
That right
literally
there,
all the way
baby.
down. So-
You gotta love that.
Good
That's
teacher
where I.
do.
That's what I was.
Yep.
Yeah.
And like I kind of said earlier, like somebody has always told me I wasn't big enough, fast enough, strong enough, athletic enough to do any of the things that I've done. And I've carried that chip on my shoulder throughout my entire life and career. And I'm not mad at that. But it was
motivating.
it was motivating.
It's a great motivator.
And that's right. And
Yeah.
you either
You
do
know-
it or don't. And
Yeah.
you got to work.
Yeah.
You know, life's like this. The fast dude is a fast dude. You can't teach it.
Yeah.
If you're not the fast dude,
Yeah.
you got to get every ounce of what you got in the tank out.
Can't
Absolutely.
teach height and you can't teach speed.
Nope.
Those are two things. But Matt, seeing what you've done now and leading up to now, we've had him on a previous guest, Hunter Sosenheimer.
Mm-hmm.
He had a child
Yeah, he was 11 years old and he had a deficiency and he had a problem with his neck and was told he couldn't play sports anymore. So he made it a positive and now he's the clubhouse, the visitors clubhouse guy for the Tin Caps after he was a manager at Snyder football and won a state championship doing that. And, I mean, that's a great story, and it's a great positive because
Nutter's the same way.
Yeah. I mean, you just take,
and that's
take
what
and run with
the
it.
show's sort of about. Not everybody is, let's say, Walter Jordan. Okay,
Right.
I'm just going to use him, or Joe Tippin. Not everybody's them too. But there's other opportunities in sports that you can do. You can coach. You can be an administrator.
Yep.
So I mean, that I see it as great motivation for you that you've been told about this, but I believe everybody has a path.
Well, he's the one that told me. Baseball, him and Staff.
Yeah.
Like, I think we joked about it earlier.
Yes, we
Coach
did.
Stafford, he was so mad when he had to put my name in the lineup every week.
Had to keep putting it in there though.
Yep.
We did too.
And I
We
had
were
my job. My job was to make you write my name on that card by what I did during the week.
Absolutely.
And that's great.
Yeah.
But you had guys like Brum and Stav and DePremio and Dorfler. All of those guys, and Chevron, and all of them, Bodraff, all those guys that kind of shaped our lives.
Yeah,
we
that's
went through the same high school.
That's one thing I want to have the same people in front of them.
That's right.
And obviously you've hit on everybody. I mean, influence wise, who is your biggest influence?
DePremio.
It's
not even close.
I had a feeling.
And all those guys are great guys.
Yeah.
Please don't take
No.
that.
I mean, everybody has that's the beauty of playing multiple sports is you get a lot of different takes and coaching and all that. So yeah, for Sam, that's a good move. What's that?
I know who yours was.
Who?
AC.
No, he was not. But we'll move on.
Coach DePremio taught mental toughness.
Sure.
Like, you couldn't go in that room and not be ready to battle.
Oh, I believe
Because
that.
my 3-man group was James Starks,
Oh.
Jermaine Brooks, and me.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah.
I was like 29-1 and ranked 5th in the state, and I didn't get a takedown in practice.
Yeah.
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 Like, I was really good.
Yeah.
And the two returning state title champions, two undefeated returning state champions.
Sure.
And my good friend Mr. DePremio made that my 3-man group.
Yeah.
Well,
Like,
he
I
did it. He
hated
did it.
practice. Hated it.
He did it on purpose.
You think?
Yeah.
Made you better.
Gosh, and he's only, just so everybody knows, he's like 5'1", and the meanest man you'll ever meet in your life.
Meanest and nicest.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Time.
All at
Great
the same
guy.
time.
Great guy.
I mean,
But he
Yeah.
yeah. Sam is a special person,
Yeah.
man. And there's a lot of care in him.
Yeah.
absolutely.
sure.
So, I mean, you graduated out of Ball State. Was Blackhawk Middle School your first job?
No, I actually went to Eastside High School, and I did confined classroom, which I was basically the bouncer. So I got all the bad kids all day.
Really?
And then I was a wrestling coach and assistant AD. And then the following year, I came to Northrop and was I subbed for a year and got the wrestling job because Coach DePremio retired. And then I got the adapted PE job, which was I think I had 17 schools and 132 kids a week. Wow, special ed kids. I'm a sensitive guy. I did that for 5 years. And
Wow.
then got the Southside job. I got in there. But it was a great job because I could make my own schedule, and it allowed me to meet with the coaches at St. Francis and talk to Russ Isaacs because I'm in all
Yeah.
these buildings. So
Yeah.
I got like a
their
4-year
brains.
Yeah. Absolutely.
seminar on
Yeah.
coaching.
Talk about your move to Southside and the rebuild that you did.
It's the same thing over and over. Don't take the Southside job. You'll never win there. Don't take the Southside job. You can't do it. They aren't going to respect you. They aren't. And the more people told me that, I felt like at times I was bullied into taking that job. Don't you tell me what I am and am not going to do.
That chip got a
Or
little
what
bit bigger.
Yeah.
Got a little bit bigger.
I got issues. I got issues. But
We all do as coaches.
That's right.
Or just superior, or not
so
superior
my thing
athletes,
was
just
like,
athletes.
watch this.
Yeah.
Watch this.
So the first year you was 2-6. The second year, what was your record?
I don't remember my records. I just saw my Wikipedia page. I didn't even know I
You
had
were
one,
amazed
but
you're on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Come on now.
He was in
I don't even know what the
Wikipedia.
heck that is.
That's trying. Where you at?
I think our first year we went 7-4 at Southside. Now that you say that, because we played in the sectional final against Muncie Central, and the only reason I remember is because I failed. We were up 21-0 in the fourth quarter, and they came back and beat us 24-21.
And those are the ones you always remember.
You betcha.
The wins, some of the wins you
Muncie
don't.
Miracle.
Yeah, yeah.
I got the job at Tri-State and went and recruited there, and that was on the freaking
Oh,
wall right behind his
that
desk.
hurts.
Oh,
Yeah,
Coach
that hurts.
Stetler.
Yeah, I mean, so right here you are. It says, where is it? South side. Yeah, there it is. I had it. Okay. When he was at Southside, he built a team that was 7-20 in the previous 3 years to a record of 21-11 in the following 3 years. That's a big turnaround, man.
We did pretty cool stuff.
I mean,
The best thing that's not in there is I think the team GPA was a 1.7 GPA, and when I
Wow.
left it was a 2.9, and we sent I think 14 kids to college. From that senior team.
Yeah. And that, and
Who was
that,
your stars in?
Quentin Scott, the Dito brothers, DeAndre Campbell,
Mhm.
Tosa Nicodabo, Bernard Pollard played for the first year. There are a lot of really good players.
Yeah.
Uh,
you,
Also like Coach Bernard.
we are really good friends now. We're really tight.
So that means it was tough.
Yeah, he needed it though.
Yeah.
I think Bernard was a special player, and I'm glad I got I'm glad I got some time to coach him, and I hope he took some things from that, and I know he did. We're really good friends. He's down in Nashville now. We talk pretty often.
What's his infatuation with NASCAR?
Okay, stop. So I don't know, but if you knew Bernard when he was in high school, at no point in time on your bingo card would you have NASCAR.
Yeah.
No way.
right.
He is really into it.
He is into it. He's got that sim in his room, and he races, and he heads to Nat with Allie, with those guys all the time. He loves it.
All right.
He's a Black Dale Jr. That's what he calls himself. You gotta listen to his
Beautiful.
podcast every once in a while. He's hilarious.
Yeah.
Through Eddie Nolan, I'm trying to actually, maybe I'll have to go through you trying to get him to come on the show.
Yeah.
We can do Zoom with him and hear
Sure.
his story. I can figure out what is up with NASCAR.
Yeah.
So you obviously he's the best you coached.
Man, we had some good ones, but yeah, I would have to say, yeah, he's really good. He's a good player. I mean, that Jeremy Martinez is a running back from Lures, and that's the highlight they always show.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Pop.
That was one of the biggest hits I've ever seen
Yeah.
as a coach. I mean,
Yeah.
that took the life out of him.
yeah, it did. It took life out of them during that game.
Yeah.
I mean,
for sure.
It turned the tide. They ended up winning in overtime or late, but that was one heck of a football.
Right.
Boy, Martinez kid was a good player.
Yeah, he was.
Tough kid.
You leave Southside to go to the Freedom. How'd that come up?
I did it at the same
He
time.
did both.
You was doing
Yeah.
both.
Yeah.
How did it? I mean, how'd you get picked?
So I was at Northrop and did some pretty special things offensively. Was able with Matt Stinson and Ryan Hall and the crew, Mike Newman, all those guys.
Yeah.
There's some names.
You got it.
My buddies.
And then went
Mike-
to Southside, got the Southside job out of it, and I can't remember the guy's name now, but he was the head coach and somebody told him I was the guy to talk to about offense in town, and it's a really cool story. So with these kids and their phones, you can't even turn it off. These kids can do all. So he's
Thanks for
like,
calling
"Hey,
me
I
out
want to, I just want to talk to you about arena football. You know anything about it? I'm the new head coach. I'm looking for an offensive coordinator." And I go, "Oh, you mean arena like 8-man football?" He goes, "Yeah." I go, "Yeah, I got all kind of knowledge about it." But he was like, "Cool, I'll be there. I want an interview." I go, "Great, when?" He goes, "I'll be there in about 45 minutes."
Nice.
I have no freaking clue. I've never seen a snap of it. So I run down to the library and I'm trying to dial up. Remember dial up?
Oh, yeah. We talked about that earlier, too. Yeah.
Trying to get video to download
Yes.
on dial up. And I'm
Yes.
sitting there. I got to look at one play and then went out and he put me on. He goes, "All right, cool. Here you go." He put me on the board, which is a great move.
Yeah.
I learned that from him.
Sure.
It's like, okay, when I interview people, I'm going to just give them so anyway, I'm making all this stuff up and I was like, damn, this is pretty good.
Yeah.
I got the job and
Nice.
then next year or the year after that, I was the head coach, I think, and did that for 5 or 6 years. Super fun. I
You had
loved
some
every
players.
second of
I
it.
mean,
We
you
were
had some.
good.
You had some
We were
players.
good.
Yeah.
Well, James Payne, didn't he play for him?
I
No.
don't know, but
He might have been on the
you had
first team.
Stroder,
Dude,
you had Antoine.
Crable.
You had
Antoine
Crable.
Taylor,
Yeah,
Brian,
yeah.
Brian White.
Yeah.
We had some players
Yeah.
now. Like, gosh, what the hell is well, our left tackle played at Oklahoma
Yeah.
in the Orange Bowl. Our linebacker played at Cincinnati from Cincinnati in
Yeah.
the Orange Bowl.
Yeah.
We had some cats.
Yeah, you had
Dutcher
some-
played for us.
Yeah.
Baller.
Yeah. Yeah. You had some players.
Yeah,
No
well,
doubt.
I like to win, and
Yeah.
it's like a bar fight,
Yeah.
right? I'm not going to go in to a
Right.
bar fight with
Right.
a bunch of not
Yeah.
very good fighters.
We're putting
That's
this.
right.
We're
I'm
putting
gonna
this.
put
We're
all
putting
the
this.
bullets in the chamber
Yes. Exactly.
before we go in.
How exciting was it coaching that?
Oh, it was unbelievably fun.
Just up and down.
Up and down, 1,000 miles an hour. Again, like these are formative years for me. My goodness, but I was coaching 35 football games a year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was like, to do that over 3 or 4 years, like that's a lot of football, and
Yeah.
a lot of situations, and a lot of learning. Like what I learned from arena football was the last minute of those halves were ultra important. Like sometimes
Sure.
you want to try and score in one play so you can let them score or stop them and get the ball back and try
Yeah.
and score
Try
again.
and
It's all
score again.
bad.
Yeah.
But that really helped me in college football, you know, at end of game scenario. I thought we were better than everyone else we played during that stretch of being prepared with all these weird things. And it came from, you know, doing all of those things.
Sure.
But I will say this, it was unique. I was in Ohio Valley, and they had this little arena, and the people right on top of you, they're throwing pennies and stuff. Like we had to sit, they had their helmets on, sitting on the bench
Yeah.
in between, and they're throwing shit at us. And I'm on the boards calling offense, and this dude takes my call sheet, snatches it right out of my hand, and they
man.
pass that thing all the way to the front. Arena football is really fun. So
Wow.
I'm kind of a cocky guy.
Yeah.
I said,
No.
okay.
A little bit.
No.
I said, I'm going to call it play. Number 4 is going to catch a touchdown pass on this play on the O. You're going to go get my freaking call sheet,
Yeah.
and then you're going to buy me a beer.
There you go.
So I stare at him the whole time. Dutcher catches it on the O, and he goes, are you freaking kidding me? I go get my shit. So he brings me a beer. I slam the beer.
Nice.
I got
Nice.
the call sheet, and he goes, why don't you give this to the other, or let me give it to the other, our guys. We suck. I go, it won't help them anyway. They're smart enough to read it. But a lot of things like
Beautiful.
that happen.
Yeah. No, that's a great story there.
Yep, and
Yeah.
another one.
Call sheet.
Yeah, another one. I'm at home on the boards during warm-ups, and I'm like at the Coliseum,
Yeah.
and this guy goes, Matt Land, you couldn't find your head in the blah blah blah. You don't even know what the hell you're talking. I'm at home,
Yeah.
like the pregame. I turn around and I go, what is your problem, Mr. Abs? It was Troy Abs' dad.
Oh,
Just
nice.
giving me the business.
Nice. Nice.
But a whole
That's
bunch of
beautiful.
stories like that.
Yeah,
You know, when you
that's
grow up in
awesome.
a town, and
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I got catcalled a lot. It was
Yeah,
so fun.
that's
It was a
beautiful.
fun time.
Yeah.
Great stories,
Yeah.
man.
You know?
Make the transition to Trine. How'd that get to happen?
Well, kind of like the arena ball thing. They had a coaching change that they needed to make. They made it. 3 guys turned it down, and then their AD called me. I had to talk my wife into letting me do this.
Oh, yeah.
Probably not the most financially
Yeah. That's
astute
yep,
decision.
yeah.
At 31 years old, I think, or whatever it was. I thought my time had passed, which is fine. I liked what I was doing. But this opportunity was too good to pass up. They were 2-28.
Yeah.
You know, they were
Yeah.
really
They were
bad.
struggling. Yeah.
And went, got the job, and which was fine. You know, and my wife, I asked her 2 or 3 times. She didn't say yes the first 2 or 3 times either. So,
Right.
and that worked out. But and the rest is history.
Yeah.
But it's I hired, just like I did like at Southside, hired my buddies. I went up and got the tri-state job and just hired my buddies.
Sure. Well,
Abs
you know, I mean, you think about that though. I mean, as coaches, and you know, Coach Stavretti always told me, he goes, if you put the right people around you, you're going to be successful, and
Yep.
and that's so true. I mean, you got to have a good mix of who you trust
That's right.
in the coaching business in order to make it work.
You got it. So I hired my buddies, and you know,
So
Coach
you had
Abs has
Ab-
been here the
you
whole
had-
time.
You had Abs. Who else?
David Gator,
Gator.
Dan Masilowicz. Masilowicz is the head coach at Olivet College now.
Nice.
Dan Pfeiffer is was at St. Francis in Hillsdale, came and coached with me, and he's at Cornell, Iowa,
Okay.
having a really good season this year. Mike Lazewski, coach with us. Eric Ravelette, coach with me at the end, and Jake Kinsey. Jake Kinsey, I've been there 17 years. Jake would be 18. He's the only person from the staff that I kept. It's a funny story. I fired all of them. They were 2 and 28, so obviously they all
Right.
stunk. But I'm walking through the offices and this kid's playing the guitar. Like, what are you doing? He goes, I'm on lunch, coach. I go, that's fine. Like, what are you doing? He goes, well, I play in the church band on Wednesdays and Sundays, so I gotta practice. I said, okay. I go, do you drink? He goes, no, sir, I don't drink. I go, you're hired. He goes, what? I go, I have to have somebody to drive me around and have somebody with the guy on our side and have somebody who knows this campus. So
Nice.
You hit 3 of them.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Congratulations.
You've hit
You
it all. You
stay.
hit the trifecta.
And he's still there.
Nice.
You know, and he great coach,
Yeah.
smart guy,
Yeah.
good worker. So
That's awesome.
again, a bunch of really good.
You're
Yeah.
hired. Matt, you finished up 63 and 32. Talk about the beginning of when you got there, coming up, you just talked about what you walked into. Talk about the transition building up.
Well, I got there. We had 58, maybe 60 players when I got there in January of 2006. First thing I did was get everybody's class schedule, and then the guys that I had on staff, and we just went around to classes all day and made the team get up every day that somebody wasn't in class when they were supposed to be. And we hit every single day of 5 a.m. every single day until spring ball started in March.
Wow.
So during that time, a bunch of people would have quit. So our first spring practice, we had 24 kids. The best athletes I had were our kicker and our punter, and they were playing corner.
Wow.
Wow.
Yep, we barely had enough to practice. The
Right.
president called me in his office and said, let me introduce you to a term called tuition-driven university. It's like, well, let me introduce you to head football coach that wants to win, and those
Yeah.
people are just bad people.
Yeah.
You can't win with them, then that's why
Right.
you weren't.
Right.
So he said, well, you better have a team in 6 months when we play. And I said, well, I will. And he goes, well, it's your rodeo now. I go, that's the only way I wanted it.
Right.
Walked out, went home. Hey, Julie, I got to get my freaking resume ready. I don't think I'm going to be able
gone.
to get this done. I'm looking for a hug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She looked me straight in the eye and said, shut your mouth. Fix them like you did the rest of them. You made me let you do this. Get out of my
Nice.
face.
Good for her.
Yeah,
I've
super.
had that situation with my wife once.
They're so mean.
They're the backbone though. You know, they are. Because
So
they
how was it
allowed you to do, you know.
What'd you end up with?
2 and 8.
No, how many kids?
We ended up with 90 the first game.
So you had
Brought in
About-
brought in about 70 kids and ended up with 90. Went 2 and 8 the first year, won 2 of our last 4 games. We finally got it all
Starting
figured
to
out.
feel-
Yep. And then the next year we went 6 and 4 and lost, I think our point differential, we were -3. You know,
Wow.
so but you gotta understand, you were not allowed to snap the ball with more than 5 seconds or more than 5 seconds on the clock. Like we
Yeah.
had to shorten
Shorten
the
the
game.
game
We
up.
were good enough.
Yeah.
Shorten the game, run the ball, do stupid, ugly stuff that nobody likes to watch. But then people are staying.
Yeah.
Worst compliment I ever got in my life. Coach Land, this is so fun. I even stayed till after halftime for the first ever. I wanted to strangle that kid. Trying to be nice.
Yeah.
I wanted to strangle him.
Yeah, sure.
Wow.
But again, I remember it.
Yeah.
It was memorable.
Another one, yeah.
He thinks he's done you
Yep.
something exciting.
Yep, I didn't kill him. I wanted to, but I didn't. He was really nice. But then went into that next year, and we're like, 3 points. We're on the fence. We're either going to get better or worse. Like,
Sure.
and we ended up going undefeated in our third year, and I think that is the worst undefeated football team in the history of the NCAA. But boy, did those kids play hard.
Played hard.
They were disciplined, and we went on a run there where we were pretty dang good.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Pretty dang good, and it was fun.
Yeah, it's like first. I mean, that's 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good run.
Yep, it was fun, and had some really good players. We played those young kids.
Yeah.
That first undefeated team were the freshmen of the team that went 0-10 when
Sure,
I got there. So
sure.
they went from
They bought in.
went from 0-10 to 10-0.
Yeah.
They really bought in.
And it was fun. Like that, some fun times there. Played some good football.
You had what they call Heisman of D3.
Gallardi Trophy winner,
Yeah.
Eric Watt.
What was he like?
He was the best, other than Bernard.
Okay, I was wondering where he was going.
But he was the best football player I've coached. smart, just best athlete on the field every day. Every Saturday that we played, best athlete on the field.
What do you stand out at?
He was 6'3". Well, let's go back. He was 6'3", 125 pounds, and played at in the region, in the nether region between Newton, South Newton.
Okay.
Mike Quick, remember Mike
Yes.
Quick from Northside?
Yeah.
Coached with me with the Freedom. Called me and said, "You got to come and see this kid." He was coaching it was 1A football
Okay.
in the middle of nowhere,
Nowhere. Yeah.
between Crown Point, Chicago, and Maryville, like
Wow.
nothing.
Yeah. That's the
He's
outer
like, "Mike,
region.
Like, I don't really want to drive 3 hours to go see a 1A football player. And he sent me film, and I was like, okay.
I'll go see.
So I go watch him. He can throw it.
Yeah.
Like, he can throw it. And, like, really throw it. And he's getting MAC looks and all this stuff. And they're like, how did he slip through the cracks? Well, he didn't. He just didn't talk. And he weighed 125. He looked like
Right.
a skateboarder, not a football player. He could play. And so this is his junior year. His girlfriend was a senior, and the entire football staff went to a softball game and recruited his girlfriend to come and play softball for us, who ended up being a really
Oh,
good
wow.
all-region player,
Nice.
hoping that
That's
He-
this
yeah.
skateboard-looking
Yeah,
dude
he's
would
got-
follow her,
yeah.
and he did.
Wow.
And
Nice.
the rest is history. The kid could sling it.
That's
He
awesome.
was really good.
well, I mean,
And a smart kid.
Yeah.
But so another story about Eric and just that whole time period. You know, you win a lot of games, you get invited to go talk. So I get to go to Mount Pleasant and the Nike Coach of the Year clinic and go talk. And it was awesome. Give this great speech of all this great knowledge, and one of the any questions, and he goes, you know, you guys went from huddle to no huddle, and your points per game, all this shit.
Sure.
He went through
Oh,
all this
yeah.
stuff. You know, why did you do it? And then I gave him a song and dance back about, you know, points per play and points per minute, and if I go really, really fast and no huddle, you got to play more defensive linemen, and that means the suckier defensive linemen get more
Get in.
downs and all
Yeah.
that stuff. He goes, that's great, thanks. I go, none of that's true. It's like, what the hell are you talking about? None of that's true. We went no huddle because the year before we averaged 6 plays where we were misaligned or just communication, because Eric can't talk.
Right.
He doesn't talk. He whispers in the huddle.
Uh.
So we went to no huddle strictly so he didn't have to talk
didn't
and
have
you
to
just
say
play
anything.
play football. That's the
Wow.
only reason.
Nice.
Yeah, don't think we're smarter
Yeah.
than we really are. Like, he couldn't talk, so I don't want him to talk
Yeah.
anymore. And he's really good. We're going to play him, so we're going to signal the crap in and go no huddle.
Crazy.
so what's it like to be in charge of 32 athletic teams? I've been trying.
It's busy. Got a great staff, a lot of really good people and smart coaches, professional coaches that can run their own programs. And then I just go around and make popcorn and clean up all their problems.
Well, you know, one thing, Matt, you know, the transition from going to be coach to, you know, eventually the athletic director. What was your vision as athletic director? Because I mean, everybody has, you know, what they want and what they see is and continues on. It never stops.
Sure.
So what was your vision?
The vision, Dr. Brooks, who just retired, is one of my best friends in the world.
Sure.
You know, rarely do you get to work with a president of university who's athletic minded.
Yeah, that's a bonus.
Let
Big
alone
plus for that school.
ends up being your friend. Like, we've done some cool stuff over the last 18 years.
Oh, absolutely.
And you know, so I'm lucky there. So I was the football coach and AD at the same time for my last 3 years.
Okay.
He wanted me to take what I did with the football program. We ended up we started with 24 kids. Now we have 170.
Yeah.
You know, that's tuition.
They
dollars,
love
right?
that tuition.
They love
Yeah.
Don't they, Devo?
So he wanted to, that's right. So he wanted me to take that and scale it up with the athletic department. So I did both for 3 years. So I got to fire myself and hire abs when I stopped
There
coaching
you go.
football.
There
Nobody
you
gets
go.
to tell that
Yeah.
story. But football is so siloed. Equipment, offense, defense, special teams, you know, recruiting, all travel, all of these different
Sure.
things. It's just a smaller version of the whole athletic department.
Mhm.
So all I did was the same thing. And we ramped up expectations roster wise. We ramped up and because the president was athletic minded and he wanted me to do this, it also came with dollars. You've coached college.
Yeah, yeah.
I want more baseball players.
Yep.
Never do they say, and I'm going to give you 30% more dollars, you know,
Right.
per kid. They don't ever
Right,
say
I know.
that. That's what I did.
Yeah.
So with more kids came more dollars and became assistant coaches, became we pay not only recruiting, but now we're retention minded. So
Sure.
we're the university's philosophy. We aligned the athletic department with it.
Nice.
So we went from, I think, 500 athletes when I got the AD job, and now we have 1,352 at a 2,400 person school.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
That's a big jump.
it's a big jump. It's a lot of kids.
That's a lot on your plate.
Yes.
But as you said, I mean, when you have a president who's in your corner,
That's
I
huge.
mean, that is huge. I
Yep.
mean, when you know, if you're fighting against the president, like
You
Coach
lose.
Devine over there did, you're not going to win that battle.
Nope.
You're just not.
But if you look back at my career, Northrop, we had Tommy Kindle.
Yeah.
He was really good to us football and
Yeah.
and wrestling when I was coaching
Yeah.
there. At Southside, I had Tommy Smith.
Yeah.
He's great. And at Trine, I had Earl Brooks.
Yeah.
These are athletic-minded people that knew what. For me specifically, football. I think football makes the fall semester better if you're good at football.
Oh yeah.
For the entire school, there's less fights, there's less trouble, there's all of those things. I think. And if not, if you don't have football, you're basically just a great big math lab.
Yeah.
And
Right.
it's just not the same when you don't have football.
Well,
That's
and
why.
yeah, I mean, I've always thought too. Athletics. I mean, it's an extension of the school day that can teach a hell of a lot more than what you may be learning in the classroom.
Well, I can tell you, I learned a lot more from those people outside the classroom
Yes.
than I did that we talked about.
I
earlier.
agree.
And they were all great teachers. I
Yeah.
had them all. But I was more engaged with the after school part.
Sure. Yeah.
But that was
Yeah, you're right. At Northrop, we never had problems in the fall.
no,
We never had problems in the fall.
nope.
You leave Shawnee, following Monday, you're at Northrop.
Yeah,
For 8th grade and 9th grade.
at 8 in the morning
Yeah, and
till
you're
1 o'clock, lifting and running. getting
you're all
yelled at.
together.
Mm-hmm.
You're working as one unit. We never had a problem in the fall.
Nope.
It was after, usually spring. But so the Thunder Ice, how did that come about? What made Trine get into hockey?
Dude, listen, my whole story is about in college athletics as an administrator is about tuition revenue. Tuition revenue makes everything at the university better. So we built the hockey arena and the new basketball arena at the same time.
Yep.
I started 9 new sports
In
at
that
the
time.
same time.
Yeah.
And that added 300 students to the athletic department in 1 year. I wanted to shoot my foot off with a shotgun about February of that year, building 2 buildings and doing all
Same
that.
time.
But hockey came about as, hey, what about building the basketball arena and putting ice in it? At the
Like the
like
Coliseum.
the Coliseum.
Like the Coliseum.
Yeah.
And I was in the cabinet meeting. Like,
Mhm.
no, you
Yeah.
don't understand. None of you understand what you're talking about. And
Right.
you have VP of operations and all these people like, no, we can do this. I go, you don't understand. You are not going to give me the thousands of man hours it takes to flip that thing
No.
back
Yeah.
and forth. You're not going to give me the money to replace it after we flip it all the time and it gets broken. You don't want to get in that game. Build 2 buildings.
Yeah.
We ended up building 2 buildings. But we started NCAA hockey men and NCAA hockey women and a club team. And then bowling, women's triathlon. I can't remember what the esports.
Yeah, everybody's got into esports.
I got all kinds of stories about esports too. So we're at the national championship tournament softball. Me, Dr. Brooks, and my assistant AD. And on Mondays we get this report, and it's a Monday, and we get this report, and we're looking at its numbers, and all of our phones ding at the same time, and everybody looks at it, and I'm like, okay, NCAA hockey teams are full, club hockey teams full, because it's a 21-man game day roster. It's different than
Sure.
it's different. President looks at me and says, pretty good numbers. I go, yeah, we got to shut down all the recruiting for hockey. We're done. He goes, no. I go, what do you mean no? He goes, start another team. I go, Dr. Brooks, it's June 7th. We have to, like, August 20th, like, I got to get a team. I got to get recruits. I got to get a coach. I got to get in a conference. If they'll let me in a conference,
Right.
if they'll let me get into ACHA D3, we have a D2 team. If they'll even let me in, he goes, well, glad I got the right guy for the job.
Yep.
We ended up filling it,
Yep,
but
figure it out.
in 6 weeks we got
So
all
you
of
have
that
2
done.
teams.
I have 4 hockey
Yeah,
teams,
4
4.
teams.
and figure and synchro.
You
Yeah.
covered it all, man.
You got it.
4 freaking hockey teams at one school.
Yes.
Is it
What's
like
Indiana Tech's got 2 or 3, I think. Or just 2?
Yeah, I think
they
they
got
have-
2.
Is it tiered A, B, C, D?
ACHA club hockey.
No, I'm saying level.
It's
Yes.
yeah, so it's NCAA men and women,
Okay. One.
and then ACHA Division 1, Division 2, and Division 3. And these are club teams. These are 18-year-old kids that come in to play hockey. These are 22-year-old juniors that didn't get a scholarship or play Division 1. This is
Okay.
high-level hockey.
Yeah.
Because there's no Division 2 hockey. There's Division 1 hockey.
One.
There's NHL, and there's Division 3.
Okay.
So all those guys that go to Canada and play
Right.
juniors
Yeah.
until they're 21
Yeah.
years old,
Yep.
leave at 16,
well, like the kid from Leo.
Yep.
they're freshmen
Yep.
playing for us.
That is freaking nuts, man.
Yeah.
And what is nuts is they wanted to do the Coliseum deal with the ice.
Talk them out of that really quick.
Yeah.
That's a professional crew that does that.
Yep. Well, we do things big at Trying when we do them. Like, it's like nothing you'd ever seen. And this all happened. Let's do hockey. I'm not sure. Man brings big check. Hey,
I'm
Matt,
sure.
you're
Yeah.
doing hockey. And it all
Yeah.
happened. I'm not kidding. In 9 days, we went from talking about hockey to you're doing hockey in 9 days.
Yeah, you got sure real quick with
Yep.
big check.
Yep.
Big check.
Big
man.
check. Man have big check. Man get what he wants.
That's right. Talk about this past season, softball. How special was that?
It's pretty cool.
And you,
tell you.
they were close to previous.
Yeah, I mean,
years.
to
We got
be
second.
Yeah, to be knocking on the door. I mean, to finally bust it
Yeah.
down. That's awesome.
Yeah, Coach D does a great job. Those girls work now. I mean, they grind.
Yeah.
You know, baseball and softball,
yeah.
that's a long season.
Yep.
And it's a lot of indoor time and a lot of
I ran into your
heck. We started out 1-8, something like that,
coming off of.
coming out of our
Yeah.
southern
Yeah.
trip,
Yeah.
and then came back and won it.
I was talking to your baseball coach this year out at the Ash Center, and I was like, "Man, pretty impressive." I was talking about you. I'm pretty impressed with what Matt's done. That softball team. He goes, "Yeah, it's pretty rough on me right now."
Greg's 100%
He said, "You guys are
class
close."
act.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a great dude.
He goes, "I got a lot to live up to now."
Yep, that's right. But that we lost the first game
Yeah.
when we got there, and we lost the first game of the championship series. So we were behind the 8 ball
Yeah.
on both of them.
Yeah.
So my son graduated on Thursday. The team left on Tuesday. My son graduated on Thursday. I had his graduation party scheduled for Friday. So me and my wife are at the graduation party, and so my secretary was at it, and then my wife got mad. I'm trying to get flights for us because I talked her into going with me, and I couldn't figure it out. So I called Jenny, will you go up? My wife ripped my behind for sending my secretary, who was at our graduation party eating dinner with us, up to the office. Yeah, to get me
Nice.
flights. So we flew out at 6 a.m, and we played at 1 to getting to Dallas and then an hour and a half basically
Yeah.
back to Shreveport.
Yeah.
So we got home about midnight after cleaning up and everything, and we're wide awake. So I was like, Julie, we might as well just drive to Detroit and get a hotel room. So we got to Detroit about 2, slept till about 4:30 in the
Right.
morning, got up. So we were in the hotel for about 2 hours.
Oh, yeah.
And then flight was delayed. So the flight's
course.
delayed. Then we get to Dallas finally, and the rental car screwed up. So I'm going 90,
Yeah.
trying to get to this
Yeah.
game. And my wife's freaking out, and I'm going.
Yeah.
I was smoking the bandit shit. And we get there on time, like 1:15 or whatever. Yeah, 1:30 game, 1:15. All right, we got it. We made it. Get in there. I was like, yeah, let's get. Boop. They delayed it for 9 hours.
Oh,
So we ended up playing at 10 o'clock at night. So we went back to the hotel and
Nice.
then came back. But it was awesome. Girls did some amazing things. There's some really good softball out there.
Yeah.
And I'm a baseball guy.
Yeah.
I love watching college softball. Really
Yeah.
good
oh,
college
Yes,
softball.
I
absolutely.
really do too, man.
Absolutely.
But I will tell you this: the pitch clock, for everybody that hates it, has really helped baseball.
I love it.
Because what I love about softball is it's fast.
Yep.
Quick.
It's fast.
No,
quick,
I love the pitch clock.
Yep.
I do.
It's great. And I think it's really going to help baseball in
Yeah,
the future.
I agree.
But I love watching.
Well, and
people
they're
softball.
getting used to it at the college level now. You know, at least a higher level college, they have a pitch clock. They've had it for a couple of years now, so I think that helps them acclimate when they go to the next step in the minors and majors.
I just bought pitch clocks. We got them now.
There you go, boy.
Really, it's at D3 level now.
Yep.
I mean, you're in your 12th year as AD, right?
I don't know. This is my 17th year. I was the
Yeah, it's
football
your
coach for
12th
9,
year.
so yeah, play
So
around it.
that was your first championship, wasn't it?
First national
That's
championship,
what I thought.
NCAA. We won a women's triathlon national title the year before, I think, or 2 years before. But it's not an NCAA sport yet. It's what they call an emerging sport for women.
Okay.
So they're still about 8 years from being a real,
Okay.
like not a real sport, but classified
Classified,
by the
Classified.
NCAA.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the emotions that go into, the whole season of those girls, building up through the playoffs, and then to clinch it. What was that like for you?
It was unbelievable. It really was. And you're sitting in.
I mean, everything you've done for Trine, what was that like
Oh,
for you?
dude, it's not. I got a bunch of really good people that do a whole lot of work. Like, let me give you an example. It's 109,000 degrees in Texas.
Yeah.
Okay. And I was watching those games and I was just grinding through, sitting in an Adirondack chair with a ceiling fan on me on this
Yeah.
porch overlooking. Like, it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, don't feel bad for me at all. Like, we had a waiter. Crying out loud. It was great.
Nice.
Just,
I thought you was
slave
gonna
it
say-
away as the AD.
I thought you were going to say, I'm not missing coaching at this point.
No, that's not true. That's not true. But you work so hard. I think
Yeah.
but people forget. They go to games and they just like to watch them and all that. They don't know how much goes into the production of whatever it is they're
Sure.
watching. But they sure as hell don't know how hard you have to work to win a game.
Yeah.
A game, let alone the last game.
Yeah.
They just don't get
And
it.
in the fashion they want it too.
Yep.
With the walk off. I mean, oh my God.
Walk off with
So
a
exciting,
backup
man.
catcher
Yeah.
who basically said, if you want to win this national championship, you play me.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, he played her. And
Yeah.
That's
She got
awesome.
knocked.
Itself right
All
there.
work.
Yep.
She said it.
Yep, Carol went right up to him, looked right in his eyes, and he did it.
I think
It
you
was-
knew.
It was unbelievable. That was a cool moment.
I'm sure.
I think we covered pretty much everything I wanted to with you. Really appreciate you coming on.
I got something I want to cover and talk about.
Go
You
ahead.
got
Go right
10
ahead.
minutes?
You want to
You
talk
got
about
it.
umpires?
I want to talk about umpires and parents
Yes.
and coaches.
Hit
There you
it.
go. It's your moment.
Listen, everybody out there listening, think about this a lot. When you go to your kids' games and you enjoy them, it doesn't mean you get to yell at officials. Look at how old they are. They're all 50, 60, 70. Some of them are 80 years old. There
are
aren't
young.
any young ones. There aren't any young ones.
Yeah.
And there are not any young ones because the young kids do not want to put up with the crap they have to put up to get their pretty small stipend in the grand scheme of things for what they have to put up with. So either we change as a culture in regard to umpires and referees and officials as a culture of parents and fans, or you will not be watching your kids or your grandkids play.
Matt, you said this on the phone to me. You think it's not too far off?
It's not too far off. Look around.
Well, I can tell you personally, I had a nice talk with a prominent football and baseball, referee and umpire just the other day. And he said, football, maybe a couple more years. Baseball, I'm done. He goes, this will be my last year. And he goes, the parents, he goes, you can't. And again, it came back to the travel ball thing.
Yep.
And he goes, I can't help it that you spent $3,000 and your kid watches the ball right down the middle of the plate and bitches at me because I called a strike.
That's right.
And this guy's a professional. He's at the levels he's been at, the state championships that he's umpired and reffed in. For you, again, it's driving coaches out as well.
Well, I'm gonna
It's
talk about that
Go
in a
ahead.
second,
Go
too.
ahead. No, I just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
But these umpires, well, look around. There aren't any young ones.
No.
We got
They're
Jordan
all old.
Love. Jordan Love's
Jordan
up.
Ed.
Yeah.
Man,
That's
he's
it.
gone. He ain't doing anything around here anymore.
Yeah,
he's
he's-
doing my stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to be doing MAC stuff here shortly.
Yeah.
And he's going to be in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
But we are taking,
We had him on the show.
we are going to take this great thing of youth sports that we all went through and loved,
tarnished.
and we're going to destroy it because of the way we treat these people. And trust me, I coached for a long time. I don't like them. I don't agree with them ever. But it does
we
not
need 'em.
matter. Well, we need them.
Yeah.
We need them.
They're a necessary evil.
Yeah.
And not one of them is going out there, as much as I thought it and think it, even to this day, not one of them walks out there and says, I'm going to ruin Matt Lance's day today.
Right.
Ever. Ever. That's umpires.
Yeah.
Coaches. Parents, you got to lay off the coaches. We have really good people that are not coaching anymore. They're not coaching anymore because of you. Watch your kid. Enjoy your kid playing. Not one coach in the history of coaching, I promise you, has said, we could probably win this game if I played Matt Brumbaugh, but I'm not playing it.
Right.
They aren't in the business of losing games. At some point, you might want to think, my kid's not very freaking good.
That's the
And then
biggest
just
thing.
enjoy him being on the team with his friends. Because I guarantee you, the only thing they want to do is hang out with their friends on the team,
Yep.
whether they're playing or not. God will tell you whether you're good enough, one way or the other. Happens to all of us. But if we don't change the culture of umpires and the culture of coaches, we are going to lose. We're already losing really good coaches and umpires, but it's going to get worse. And your kids aren't going to get coached by the best that they can. And that's just the bottom line. As a guy that has done this for a long time and been on the good side and the bad side of every call and the good side and the bad side of every conversation with parents. Coaches want to have relationships with you parents. They want to, but they will not because they can't afford it. They can't afford it because everybody has an agenda. And that's just my 2 cents on
Yeah, no,
something
well said, Matt. I mean,
Well,
you
2
hit it.
years ago, Brownie wasn't down in Indianapolis. They had to do a whole bunch of cancellation
Yeah.
for baseball.
Yeah, baseball's getting.
There's
They don't have
no
enough
umps
umpires.
That's right.
because they're all quitting.
Yep. And hey, Brian Bollinger,
Yeah.
terrible official. Can't stand it. 100%. Just kidding. He was my center in high school. He's in the NFL.
I was going to say that's a big lie.
I love it.
That's right.
I love it.
But he was my center in high school.
You know, Brian was
Umpire.
highly pissed off on that incident over at
Sure.
Parkview. He's blown my phone up, and he's like, he goes, I'm just pissed, man.
Yep.
He goes, this is what's happening. We don't have umps, and we're not going to have them.
Yeah. True.
You know, when Matt said it, when he told me on the phone, he goes, we're not too far off.
Yeah.
Nope. It's close and it's sad. And somebody's got to say something. Everybody's saying it. Somebody's got to listen. People got to listen.
Yeah.
And you just got to keep saying it until somebody understands. And maybe somebody smarter than all of us can figure out how to make it happen.
You know, and talking about Jordan, you know, I tried to figure out how did he bypass high school? Well,
There are not enough of them.
there's not enough
Yeah.
of them.
Sure.
So he hit the lottery real quick in life, and now he's going to be in the Big Ten.
Yep.
Doing a couple games in the Big Ten.
Sure.
Which is bad because that means I lose him
Yeah.
Yeah.
for my level.
Yeah. No.
But good for him.
Yeah.
So, like, I had Brian Bollinger actually probably 4 years ago. Brought him over to Northrop and tell his story to the football
Sure.
team right before the season. So I called Jason. Hey, I want to bring Brian Bollinger over, and he gave a heck of a speech, you know, about his journey from Powell to the NFL. Well, anyways, at the end, he goes, looked at everybody and he goes, anybody, you come to me through coach or through me. He goes, I'll give you my number. I will pay your way to be an ump.
Oh, yeah.
He goes, we need you.
Yep.
And that was 4 or 5 years ago.
Hey, and I'm telling you, I'm an AD. Like, there's some really good money to be made umpire.
Yeah.
And the guys that are doing it now, I would see them at my son's middle school game.
Yeah.
Then I'd see him at the freshman or JV game and the high school game, and then I'd see him doing my games on Saturday.
Yeah.
All in the same week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These guys love it. They want to do it, and they're doing it
I
so
think
our
that,
kids can play.
yeah, I think that's a misnomer. Everybody thinks that these guys hate it, and these guys love it.
Yep.
They love to umpire. They really
James
do.
Payne, look at James.
They are part of. I shouldn't say part of the game because you don't want them to make. They were what makes it work. You know, because they're the ones calling balls and strikes, or they're calling, dropping the flag, or whatever. I mean, at the end of the day, that was an extension. They can't play anymore, so now they're doing what they enjoy, and that's being part of the game.
Yeah.
Whatever sport
I
it
go
is.
to James Payne, how, he brought, smiles when he stepped on the field.
Yep, absolutely.
And both sides are, there's James Payne.
Mhm.
Yep.
Knew it was going to be a good day.
Well,
He's
man,
done.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, he's down in
he's-
Kentucky now, so
Kentucky,
but
and he's still going to do Southern Indiana.
yep.
Like I said, Matt, I really appreciate you coming on tonight.
Well, thanks for asking me. I had a blast.
Before you go, we do a little thing called rapid fire.
Oh, geez.
So I'll make the first question easy on you, which I pretty much know where the answer is probably going to go. What's your favorite restaurant in the fort?
Lake Offs.
I knew the answer.
Man, that's a walk-off right there.
That's it. I'm done.
You can't
Wow.
get any better than that.
That was way too easy.
Yeah. Come on, man. Really?
That's probably first.
That's the first call on Lake Offs, but it's a good call.
Great call.
Yeah.
I'm actually thinking about a sausage roll right now.
There you go. Yeah, good stuff.
Now you got want to do one?
You go ahead and
Okay.
hit them there.
Past or present, Matt? Doesn't matter. Who would you like to sit down and have a drink and talk to?
Marshawn Lynch.
Wow. Why?
Have you ever seen Bear Grylls and Marshawn Lynch
Yep.
when he took him out? He's the funniest guy. You know, I would love to spend an hour just hanging out with that whack
Yeah, I
job.
thought it was going to be some coaching legend.
No,
Marshawn Lynch.
Marshawn Lynch.
That was, he did it quick,
That's
too.
good stuff.
What do you do in your free time, if you have any?
Well, I'm just starting to get it, so I'm an empty nester now. Jake's
Yep.
at
Yeah.
Hillsdale, and Emily are
Nice.
both at Hillsdale College.
Nice.
I golf a lot.
Grade school
Yep, I golf a lot. Like golfing.
at Trine.
Yep. And we got a boat, go to the sandbar, go out on the water. So
Okay. What do you watch on Netflix?
we just watched Ballers,
Oh,
my wife and
yeah.
I. Well, two. I got to pick one, so I picked Ballers. Anybody want to guess what we just watched that my wife picked?
No.
Virgin River.
Say what?
Yeah, super fun.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sounds like it.
That'd be like right off the bat. You said I'd be. Nah, that's a no go.
Yep. I didn't get a vote.
Have you ever watched Pinky Blinders?
Yes, we did watch all of that.
There
I
you
liked
go.
it.
That's
Big
me. And
fan.
Matt.
Yeah.
That's me and Matt's number one.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
What is the best compliment you've ever been told?
Best compliment I've ever gotten is from Maury Wall. If you remember Coach Wall, coached at St. Francis. I think left St. Francis. He came and I was lucky enough to be able to hire him. 70 years old, coached for Dennis Green, coached for everybody.
Right.
He knows them all.
Yeah.
Like his son is at West Point coaching. His other son is the VP of scouting for the 49ers. His other son coached at Louisiana. Like
Connected.
I really respect this
Yeah.
guy. And he told me to my face, and he's not he's not a conversational. He walked to my office, said, "I want you to know you're the best I've ever seen." I go, "Maury, what the hell are you talking about, coach?" He goes, "You know offense, defense, and special teams more than any head coach I've ever worked for, and you have the pulse of your team better than any head coach I've ever worked for." And then he said it and turned around and walked away. We didn't have another conversation about it, but I was just like, and this guy is a legend. Like,
Yeah.
he's coached
Wow.
big time ball.
Yeah.
Coached at Northwest. He's coached big
Nice.
time ball.
Nice.
So that was
That's awesome.
it was a pretty cool
Yeah,
moment.
that-
Even
yeah.
though it only lasted
That-
about 15 seconds and there was no follow up conversation.
Exactly.
But Coach Wall is also somebody
Yeah.
I really, really respect.
Right.
So
What is something about you that the people would be surprised to know?
I was a 1 in ISMA, in orchestra and choir,
Ooh.
What'd you play?
the viola and the cello
Damn, boy.
and voice. I did a duet with Stacy Hand. Joshua fought the
Yeah.
Battle of Jericho. A duet with Stacy Hand at Shawnee Middle School.
You went wild.
Don't put me in a box and stereotype me.
Wow. I gotta go. Final question here, boy.
You can't even you can't stay composed. Come
What
on
is your
now.
greatest sports moment?
Oh, wow.
Boy, threw me there.
You know, there's been so many things that are so special. You know,
It could be for you as an individual
dude,
or
just
coach.
losing to Belmont in the Final Four during when I was the wrestling coach. We lost by 2 to Belmont.
Yeah.
Once again,
That went on and won it.
Yeah.
Belmont
Was pretty cool.
powerhouse.
Coach Dorfler playing in the Dorfler Bowl against Northside when they were number 1 in the state. Ran 942 trap pass, and Scott Kruger caught a touchdown pass to win
Nice.
it late. I mean, just there's a lot of really cool things that I've been able to win in our first conference title at Trine,
Yeah.
going to the Sweet 16 and playing at Whitewater in the national championship
Whitewater
tournament in the
powerhouse.
Sweet 16.
Sure.
You know, we lost
Another
by
powerhouse.
we damn near beat him.
Yeah.
Now I'm watching him coach at Kansas.
Yeah.
Life's by
Yeah.
choices. Isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know, and winning a national title in softball. Like I never thought I would be ordering synchronized skating and figure skating dresses. You know what I mean, and approving them as an AD.
Right.
Watching my daughter play volleyball at a really high level at Angola for
Sure.
Loy. You know, watching my son play.
Coaching your son.
Coaching my son. I quit coaching at Trine. When I finally quit coaching, started coaching 5th, 6th, 7th, and then helped and was lucky enough Andy allowed me to hang around and be a consultant, you know,
There you
all the
go.
way through and winning a conference title. You know, those
Yeah.
are special things, man.
That's the beauty of sports.
And there's so many. Cubs World Series. That's got to be up there.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know?
Well, we can
Don't
end
be
it now.
jealous.
I'm a Cardinal guy, so
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, once again, Matt, really appreciate it. Great time tonight. Great answers.
yeah.
Yeah, your second to last one, one of the best. But I really appreciate you driving down, being part of the show.
Well, I appreciate you inviting me. I'm glad
Yeah.
I haven't seen you guys in so
Yeah,
long.
man.
I don't
Been
get
a
down
long-
here.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
with my job, it's
Yeah,
a lot of
you're
stuff.
there's not a lot of
You
time.
don't have
We
a lot of time.
understand
That's
that.
where we're very lucky to have you.
Well,
once again,
Yeah.
I want to say thanks to Stevie Devine. Once again, Divine Business Group. Come to here, get a hold of him for your life insurance and retirement solutions. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it. Go ahead, Charlene, wrap it. Shut her
Hold
down.
on, I got one. We didn't. I know TikTok was popping with Roman
Oh,
Empire.
here we
What your
go.
thoughts are on the Roman Empire tonight? So, I just want to let you know that I don't have any thoughts on the Roman Empire, even though I'm supposed to. But I just wanted to cover that because Kendall would be upset if I
well, there's a
didn't
lot
cover
of
it.
similarities between the decline of America that's going on
Oh my
right
God,
now and the
dude.
fall of Rome. But,
There you go. See, it was covered. It was covered.
By the
It
way,
was covered.
hang on, Charlene.
It was covered.
I'm well
Throw us
read.
on TikTok.
Listen,
I told you.
I
Let's
feel like
go.
I'm being stereotyped. I'm well read.
Yes.
And I can sing and
Yes.
play instruments. Like,
Yes.
what are you doing? You
I
meathead.
heard the conversation with his daughter, and I was like, okay, I do have thoughts on the Roman Empire. Just what you
Yep,
said.
bingo. You know.
Exactly
So
what you
now,
said.
she better follow through and put us on TikTok or whatever because it happened. It happened
Boom.
right now.
Now cut.
I'd mic drop if they were mine, but I'm not going to.